Hi, I'm Jennifer Sir. Welcome to the Sewing Room in our Jobs in Fashion series. Today we're talking about the job of photo stylist with my friend Susie St. John, who has been a photo stylist for a few years, and she's going to tell us all about what that job is like. So here you go. Here is Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Jennifer.
Welcome to the Sewing Room.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a photo stylist?
Yeah. I have always been interested in fashion, and I ended up going to FIDM and studied fashion design.
So did I.
And that was fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've had different jobs in the design world, mostly assistant designing for small companies, and then um, had a lot of jobs in retail and ended up doing some windows, and then kind of made my way into styling.
Yeah, Windows, that's pretty awesome. That's like the whole three-dimensional world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think having that kind of practice was helpful for my personal
Mhm.
styling technique, and also knowing, having a background in construction and fit and knowing how things are supposed to look was helpful for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What exactly does a photo stylist do?
Well, they take whatever the product is, like if it's apparel, let's say a t-shirt or a pair of pants, and you style it to make it look more desirable than just um, you know, say it'll either be on a model or maybe on a table or on a wall or a mannequin. And you do tweaks to it, whatever it needs to be done to make it look like it fits properly.
Do you have to do anything else to the garment, like iron it
Yeah,
or or
there's,
cut threads or anything
yes,
like that?
there's a lot of prep to get the garment even before it gets to the stylist. We work with assistants who
Mhm.
are imperative and um, they're very, very important to have on set. So they will take the garment as a sample usually, right? It'll have tags and things that need to get cut off, threads, um, anything that looks wonky, they try to fix before we get it. It gets steamed or ironed, so it shows up looking really nice and fresh.
Awesome. And so who are you working with when you're doing photo styling? Are you working with a big company? Are you working with primarily just the photographer? How does that play out?
Um, it's a little bit. It could be any of that. It's a lot. So it goes. There's small businesses that probably have a very small styling photo production um,
Budget
Yes,
or team?
budget, yeah. And then there's bigger companies that do put a lot more money into it, where you work with a big team and you have an assistant on hand and you have a photographer and a photographer assistant and um, an art director, and sometimes beyond that, depending on who you're working for. There's a lot of input. It's definitely a team effort.
Awesome. So, what are your responsibilities as a photo stylist?
Um, well, you take whatever they give you and you make it look as best you can, given your direction. you
Hmm.
know there's always different aesthetics for different people, so depending on what they want, you just try to execute that, and so it takes a lot of creativity
So,
sometimes.
so having good art direction is super important because that helps you understand what you need to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, communicating the outcome as best as you can is super important, and that involves um usually, not oh, here we go, that involves like just a lot of great communication.
Mhm. Awesome.
Yeah.
I heard you say that you went to FITM
Yes.
for design school. Do you have to do any other preparation work or courses to become a photo stylist?
I did not. I believe there are actually classes now um, at art schools for photo styling or styling. So that wasn't offered when I was there. For me, it was just working as an assistant and working with stylists, and some stylists are more helpful and like free in teaching the skill.
Mhm.
It's definitely more of a hands-on skill that you need to practice and learn. And
Mhm.
there's lots of different tricks. Everybody does things differently. So there are certain things you could learn through classes, but it's definitely more of a um, you get in there and got to kind of like do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they started offering that as an emphasis or a side emphasis
Uh huh.
at Oakland School for the
Oh,
Arts.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
I
cool.
think they were working with the photo because they have a photography emphasis too. So the fashion department would work with the photo
Yeah.
department, and then they worked on creating little campaigns
Oh, cool.
or just they would be able to photograph their collections for other designers at the school.
Right. So they
Yeah,
all
so
collaborate
they
together.
all
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And it seems like it's a really collaborative job too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
right.
Yeah.
What are the most important skills you need to have to be a photo stylist?
Well, I would say an eye for detail is huge. There's like in sewing, a little bit makes a big difference sometimes. Um, and being a good problem solver. Sometimes there's not a really like straightforward way to get what you want. So I think being a little creative and thinking on your feet and being able to go with the flow and being flexible are all important. As aside from just there's a lot of skill involved.
Hmm.
Um,
I know you were telling me about that photo shoot you did where you had the underwear cascading down
right,
some stairs, and I thought that was
right,
really that was really indicative of both the skill and the problem solving that you need to come up
right.
with, right?
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to get things to do what you want. So sometimes it's just working through. We use a lot of tools on set, pins, tape, monofilament.
What's your
You know,
favorite tool to use? Do you have one?
um, I think well, I use most pins are like definitely a most of the time thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a favorite tool necessarily. I use um
Knitting
a
needle?
knitting needle a lot um to get in and underneath things and stuff
Hmm.
like that.
Awesome. What does a typical workday look like?
Well, depending on the job, for like a job of like doing product all day, you'll probably have a rack of clothing that's been prepped for you, and that's your day. And you go through it item by item and style it. Um, it could be between like 40 to 80 pieces, depending on who you're working for. And that's kind of your day. It can be very autonomous at that point, but then if you're working on like a marketing job where you have an art director on site and you're trying to get well, they're just used for different reasons.
Yeah.
A marketing project is like a special thing where
So, like, what are the different kinds of photo styling you can do? Because it sounds like there's different situations that you might
there's
need photo
tons of
styling.
different things. Yeah, there's like a product page. Say if you're shopping online for clothes, you'll see it on a model, and then you see it also maybe just by itself.
Hmm.
And that's kind of styling I do a lot is the by itself stuff. And then you'll see it. Sometimes you'll get an email from a brand, and it's like for like a sale or a time of year, and there'll be something going on that's like a theme or seasonal. That's another kind of a thing that you could end up working on. And then there's everything from food to makeup styling. There's all
Hmm.
kinds of different kinds of styling. So it's a really specific niche, but it's also broad at the same time.
Yeah, that makeup styling seems really hard.
Yeah, it's a whole other animal, really. Like, yeah, I don't really. That's
Like
not
to see
my.
that, I remember seeing those those ads or layouts in different magazines where the makeup was just sort of smeared perfectly
Hmm.
or chopped up a certain way, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very specific area.
Yeah. Do you ever work with makeup?
Not a lot, no, but I would like to. That'd be something to like play around with. I think it would be really fun.
It seems like it would be really fun.
Hmm.
Um, How do you find work as a photo stylist?
Well, you could get a job with a big company that have staff stylists. You could go through an agency where they help you find work. You could work independently, depending on where you live and what you're looking for. It's kind of like any job. You got to just kind of find the right networking ways to get, who you need to talk to and assisting as a stylist. If you start there for sure and get on set with someone and talk and learn and observe and ask questions.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you ever have to travel for business?
you certainly can. Um, a lot of shoots are location shoots, like, catalog. You see people in awesome places. Like, that's the styling job. You could go to Hawaii and work on the beach all day with a bathing suit,
Yeah, go to Iceland
go to
or
Iceland,
one of
go
those
to,
crazy places.
yeah. So, yeah, there's 100% potential for that.
Do you work with an assistant?
Yes.
Do you have one that you specifically work with every time, who's sort of your assistant, or is it basically the assistant is provided by the company?
The assistant is usually provided. Um, and then if you're working on a job independently, you could hire your own assistant depending on your budget and all of that. But usually, uh, your kind of team is set up by a producer for you sometimes. So you'll have an assistant assigned to you
Great.
typically.
And do you have any tips for people just starting out?
Um, well, like I said, just probably try and get on set somewhere, start assisting. And if you went to fashion school,
Mhm.
they will have probably contacts for you, which would be really helpful because
Mhm.
it's a competitive and impacted, pretty saturated market, I think, for stylists. Um, and yeah, like, just if you don't know people in the industry, try and figure out how to know some people and work with people
Mhm.
and work for free, like assist, I said, and yeah, just get exposed to it.
You could also probably work in a department store, right? And try to get that visual merchandising type
That would
of.
be a good background to have for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think initially a lot of the stylists did that, like catalog work came before like the internet stuff, So then
Right,
a lot of
yeah.
that came from initially merchandising in department stores and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Susie.
Yeah.
This
Thank
has
you
been
for having
awesome.
me. Yeah, it's been fun.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation we just had with Susie about the job of photo stylist. To summarize, a photo stylist is someone who works with a photographer to help make a product look good. Some skills that stylists use are problem solving and communication. They have to convey an idea that belongs to the company about how they want it to look. So there has to be lots of back and forth between an art director and the photographer and the photo stylist in order for their vision to come to life. The work of a stylist can vary depending on what kind of a photo shoot you have. So it could be styling a model, styling clothing flat, or having it hanging on a wall, or even styling something special for a holiday promotion or something to that degree. A stylist toolkit includes lots of fun little things that you never would think that they use, but like tape and pins and monofilament thread. Who knew? And a good starting place for a photo stylist is to maybe think about being an assistant to another photo stylist. This on the job training is really going to help you learn what the job is all about. So, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Give us a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.